3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Soul Infused Monday show. And it always takes a moment until we go live and people jump actually in. So I'm just gonna say to you, if you're watching the replay right now, leave a comment below, say hello. And today's topic is healing COVID-19 and what isolation does to us with my super special guest and dear friend, Beth Daniel Jones. Hi, Beth.
Hi, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, me too. I'm so excited. And Beth and I tried this already at the beginning of the year. We had technical difficulties. We couldn't go live, so I'm even more excited. So I want to know if you are actually hearing and seeing us, if you could leave a comment and tell us that you hear and see us properly and where you're watching from so that we know you're here. And it always takes a moment, Beth. So I always like to kind of wait until we really dive in for 1 or 2 minutes to see if people are actually, yeah.
Good. I get more coffee and the sun is rising, so we're good over here.
We're good. And hey, Beth is in Maui and she woke up to be here because it's 6 o'clock for you today, right?
Yeah. It was 5:15. Yep, but it's all good.
She woke up early for you, so send her some love, click the love button, say hello. And again, welcome to the Soul Infused Monday show with today's topic, healing COVID-19 and what isolation is doing to us through that. And so we have a few different approaches today coming from two angles. So first, Beth is a high-level energy medicine practitioner. She has her own company called Beth. Best
yeah.
And she has actually successfully worked with COVID-19. So she's going to talk about that. It's very, very exciting. And then the second part is more about what isolation actually does to us. There are a lot of people having fear, depression, anxiety. And so we're going to talk about that as well. And you want to stick to the end because Beth is also going to share a healing code for you that you can use. So you want to have a pen and a paper somewhere to write that down towards the end. Okay, so Beth, officially welcome to the Soul Infused Monday show.
I'm so happy to be here, and you are so excited, and it makes me excited. So thanks for
excited. And I know it's not a fun topic, and at the same time, I think it's so important to keep lightness and positivity, and we can make it also fun just because I love hanging out with you anytime. So it's going to be joyful, even though it's a heavy topic and it's not very fun, right? But we're going to make the best out of it. So
yeah. There's good news too. So
exactly. Why don't you just start sharing a little bit about your experience? You're helping people and how energy medicine or Best Solutions can help with that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I have worked with probably around 35 clients so far that have had COVID-19, including some of my colleagues. And we've created over the last couple of months an energy treatment for this that has been really effective. And I think people may be surprised by that because they think about energy medicine as, maybe just something supportive to something else you're doing. We're actually able to, through the work that we do with Healing Solutions, show the body where the virus is if someone has this. And really the question is, why are they immune compromised? Okay, so why is their body not fighting this, not getting over it really quickly, maybe compared to someone else who's basically asymptomatic? So the question is, why are they immune compromised? So we go through a series of testing with self-muscle testing, kind of like applied kinesiology, where we literally go through and ask questions of the body with the client over the phone from anywhere around the world and find out what is blocking their healing intelligence from taking care of this and knocking it out quickly. And I've got to say, I'm really excited because I don't think anyone I worked with has been dealing with this for more than a week. And they feel dramatically better. So I'm really thrilled because we came up with this, I really believe it's, God inspired, of course, for everything that we do. And we were really given some awesome information about how to look at this virus and how to help people with it. So I'm just so excited to share that.
Oh, me too. And I just for you who just jumping in, and like I've known Beth and this work for over a decade, and I've been working with her for a long time. So for some of you, it's like, for me, this is so normal, but some of you, it's like, oh, what is she talking about? You know, like it's really remote work. We're not going to go too much into that, but just to understand that she's in Maui, and what she just shared, she does that remotely on the phone, and it's so super powerful. I've seen, like, I have my own healing stories, and have sent plenty of my own clients to you. So it's really, really powerful. I'm super happy to hear that. And obviously, if you want to connect with Beth around that, because you are maybe having the virus, or you know someone who has the virus, go to her page, besthealingsolutions.com, and we're also going to post that here. But I just want to put that out there for someone who's like, oh, they don't know you as well. But I'm super excited to have that. So
yeah, and we have a 24-hour money back guarantee. So if somebody's like, well, this is too weird for me, or it doesn't really work for me, we don't charge people because we believe really strongly in the work. People have felt better really quickly, and there are some supportive things that people can do as well. If I have time to share that, in terms of some nutritional supplements and things that we found, that are also really supportive of this particular virus, that I'd like to share if I can.
Yeah, and if not, we might not have the time, but we can add that as an additional resource or something. So that would be great too. Yeah, and energy medicine is really like people know me, they're back to the opening, but it's so powerful beyond what we think is like, we can only work through it with a severe medication or something. I like what you said about, to look into and say, like, what's actually blocking the healing versus only, hey, I have the virus. So
a couple examples of that I think that would be really helpful. What I have found across the board is that most people that have gotten this and have had some trouble with it have had some other major pathogens or major infections within the past year. At least half the people I've worked with said, well, yeah, I had the flu at the end of 2019, and then I got this. So it's hitting them harder than maybe someone else. So we can show the body where that virus is from the end of last year, if they still have some remnants of the flu, and just bringing that into literally the body's awareness and the healing intelligence. Our healing intelligence is miraculous. We forget that. It's miraculous. It can go after anything in its way once it can see it. So we bring it to the awareness, and the body does the job. We have some supportive supplements that go along with it. But really, that's the key. If you can show the body what's blocking, and I'll just give an example from the other day. I was working with someone in the ICU, and he had Lyme disease, and he had some pretty significant chemical exposures that were showing up, blocking his healing intelligence, some mercury exposure, some other things. And we just kind of put them all on the plate. We find all the areas that are blocking the healing, and we show that to the body. I go through and I clear that from organs and glands and tissues, and that awareness kicks in, and they start to feel better. And I do specific testing, for that person, as do my practitioners on our team. And we test to see, where is this blocking the healing intelligence? And it's simple. And then we give them a code, which I'll give an example of, to show the body where it is and keep working through and processing through it on their own. And it can be a really beautiful thing. And it's been really, really exciting to see.
Yeah, and you're going to give us a code later, so stick here with us. Yeah. And so I want to change gears a little bit into that's the physical part of it, the virus itself. But, and I've been talking about this a lot lately in the couple of weeks, how to deal with anxiety, fear, and so many other things come up with the isolation that I believe it's way worse than the virus itself.
I think so too.
I would love for you to talk into that from your perspective of your type of work, and just give some tips and share what isolation does also. Just go ahead.
And I'm a psychologist by training. And I became a healer from my own, healing crisis and health crisis. So, so just using that psychological background as well. I mean, one of the things that we have seen, and like you just said, Sonia, is, and people have been saying this a lot lately, the cure is worse than the disease. In other words, if everyone has to stay home and isolate, and they are fearful and in anxiety, especially about finances right now for a lot of people. So a lot of fear, anxiety. There's a lot of depression right now, a lot of arguing and abuse going on in homes, suicide, suicidal thoughts. These things are major. And what happens is that, people start losing sleep because they're scared. So everything kind of goes downhill. It's a cascade effect. So one of the things that I'm working with people on there's some very simple tips that I want to share, actually. Besides the healing code that I will give for fear, there's also one for the virus, actually, on my website that I want to share too. But turn off the TV, like monitor. Okay, I'm going to let myself watch this an hour a day. Okay, fine. Get the information you feel you need, or your news flashes on your phone, but turn off your TV, turn off the social media. Look down at your feet, stay grounded. Look down at your feet, look up above, and reconnect to the divine, to God, to truth and light. That is where we're going to find hope and joy. Because what we're doing is we're not in the present moment. We're not looking down at our feet. What we're doing is we're fear tripping in the future, or future tripping about fear. Okay, so we go into the future and we're terrified. Oh no, all my money's going to go away. And what if I get this? I could die because I used to be on an oxygen tank, for real. So we start thinking about those things, and we terrify ourselves into illness and into disease and into disconnection. So looking down at our feet, looking up above, reconnecting to the divine and truth, and reconnecting to others is really important. I've got a client who taught me this. She said, I get on the phone with my family once a week and we have dinner together. We're all over the country, but they get out their computers and they have dinner together and they talk. And it's so important to connect, because for those of us that may be somewhat isolated anyway, which a lot of people are that have chronic conditions, this is a really difficult time. And connecting to others is really important. And I'm really grateful to you, Sonia, honestly, for events like this and people able to listen in for free and tune in around the world. It's very important to know that you're not alone in this. The other piece I would say is really choose wisdom over the herd mentality. Because right now, if you watch news, I don't care what channel you watch or what political party you ascribe to, it's all about fear. And it's about fear and the mob mentality. And, we're not going to have a vaccine for 18 months, so everybody's going to have to stay home, and you're going to have to wear a mask if you do go out, and you should be terrified because now we have found out that this spreads through air conditioning. Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. And finding wisdom and finding truth and finding your tribe.
Yeah, I love that, everything you said. And I wanna recap a few things so that people, there were so many good things. And a lot of the tips is exactly how I see it too. It's like switch off TV or social media. What you need to know, you will know, and it's enough to do it once a day, if at all. Even you don't even have to do it that much. So I do that a lot. And also to stay grounded, come back into the present moment, and to really look up. And I always say, go up. This is the only way, is to go up to the divine, and to choose wisdom over the hurtness. Like focus on, the wisdom versus over the fear. So I'm just recapping so that if you guys are taking notes, and it's really similar. Like I have a framework that I use for myself on how with dealing with fear that I'm not gonna now, but I'm gonna talk about this next Mondays, guys. So you come next Monday for that, my 5-step framework on handling fear. And that's very similar to really come back to the present moment, ground, connect up, and choose to focus on wisdom. Yeah, I love that, Beth.
Yeah.
And here I have, let's see if we have, if you have a question, you can ask me questions anytime, but if you have a question for Beth specifically about this right now, post it here in the comment section, and either we answer it live, or if you're on the replay or we don't get to it, we will answer your question. So leave a comment below if you have a specific question for Beth. And Jean is saying fear tripping. Love that expression. Yes.
Feel free to send me any questions that come in too, kind of like last time, and I'm happy to answer them.
Absolutely. So you're going to be taking care of your question. So I have a question from Eva already here. Hi, Eva. We have so many islands here. Hawaii, Maui, Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos, Europe is in the house. I've seen so many people already say, thank you so much for all your comments. You guys are awesome. Like you're so many are here just connecting and interacting. Are you able to test someone if they might be susceptible? I can't pronounce the word susceptible to getting more sick from the virus. A lot of friends have I have worried about the virus because they suffer from certain things like asthma. Yeah, absolutely. Talk into that, Beth. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that I would say on that, Eva, and it's nice to see you on here, is that I really believe in prevention. So again, the question is, why is this person immune susceptible, right? So I've got a client in Delaware last week, and she called and she said, I have asthma. I'm having some asthmatic flare. So we worked on that, and she's doing better. That's going to make her much less susceptible. So I think really looking at, okay, am I immune compromised? And if I am, or I have breathing problems or asthma, or I've had a history of respiratory viruses even, feel free to call and let's clean that stuff up energetically and get your body into a healing state before something comes on. I think that's just really wise. And yeah, I do test people, and ask them, ask the body, do they seem like they'd be someone that's susceptible? I don't know how accurate that would be. I mean, my belief is do what you have to do to be healthy now so that you don't have to even take that chance.
Yeah, perfect. And Ashley is just saying, and Trinidad, there's another island here. And Minnesota is here, so many. So there's another question or something. Let me see if this is a question or not. Yeah, having strange symptoms, not COVID, and getting worse, but can't get it to see a doctor. All clinics closed, wanting to figure out what is wrong, but can't afford to work with someone like you. Any suggestions? Use your code.
Yeah. There is and I apologize. My light is going in and out here for some reason, so it's kind of dark.
The sun is getting up. I think it's like.
I apologize for that.
No worries. Do you move a little forward? I think like this. We see you very good. Yeah. That is fine. That's fine.
Okay. Is that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, on my website, besthealingsolutions.com, if you go to the About section and drop down, it says HS clearing codes. And there is a code there for COVID and flu-related viruses. You'll see that there. Obviously, those are all free. So jump in there and look at those codes. And if you can't afford to do any work, that's okay. Those codes are very helpful for what you might be dealing with. There's one for anxiety. There's one for fear. There's one for virus, or if you think you've had a bacterial infection, or if you feel like you ate something bad, there's a code there for an ingested toxin. If you get a bug bite, so there's different things there that will put your body into a healing state that you can use for free, including a clearing code I'm going to give you for fear, isolation, and trauma today. All of those are really helpful, and they literally do put the body into a healing state. So feel free to use those. And the cool thing is that whatever codes you read, they don't hurt you. It's just it's an energetic frequency, right? So as people will ask, oh, does my body need that? What if it doesn't need it? And I read it. It's fine. It's just like reading something.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. And I just posted
for people that don't have the funds to do healing work right now.
Yeah. And I just left your page here, besthealingsolutions.com. So if you have more specific questions about how Beth works or what type of tests she does and go more into the nitty-gritty and want to connect with her personally, I just left the link there. So connect with her there. And there's also where you will find the codes. And here's another quick question, and then we go ahead. A friend of mine is recovering from COVID-19. She's 50 years young and still having issues with breathing. Can essential oils diffusers help? I'll send her your info. Blessings. Thanks for sending the info. Depends. I guess you would test it, right?
Yeah. Hi, Eduardo. I love you. I would say, as with all things with healing solutions, we do test to see what is compatible for somebody and what is not. And a lot of people with a lot of sensitivities or immune compromised conditions tend to have trouble with some essential oils because they're so powerful. I will just throw out, in terms of COVID-19, the essential oil I'm seeing that's been the most beneficial, Again, not if you're allergic to it, but that's been the most beneficial has been Thieves, or On Guard by doTERRA, or else Thieves. And I've been having people put it on the bottom of their feet, and then also use that as a diffuser. For the lungs, eucalyptus oil tends to be really helpful. Again, a lot of people tend to be sensitive to that one. So I would do my, little testing that I do, self-testing to see, how that works for somebody. But as a rule, Thieves and On Guard tend to be really helpful, and also eucalyptus. I have seen some other supplements be much more helpful than essential oils that I'd like to just give a few of those if I can.
Yes, go ahead.
One of the things they have discovered with coronavirus, and the reason it's called a coronavirus, it has a little arm, and you've probably seen it, little arms that stick out, and they stick, into the cell and inject what's called 3CL enzyme. And some of the supplements that are helpful for that, specifically for coronavirus, are quercetin, which is a bioflavonoid. It's actually it's really based on onions, but quercetin, or EGCG, which is a green tea extract, both of those in combination with zinc really block the enzyme that's emitted by COVID-19. So I recommend people take those preventatively, and also if they would, actually have the virus as well. So quercetin and EGCG green tea extract, one or both of those. With the green tea, you have to take it with food or it'll hurt your stomach. And then zinc. And I really recommend on zinc, 30 milligrams 3 times a day. Some people have been taking way too much zinc, and that's not helping them. So what they have found with this particular virus is it is sensitive to zinc. So they're using zinc in a lot of trials right now, like with hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin and zinc. And the addition of zinc is making the medications more effective. If they don't use the zinc, what they're finding is that the side effects from the medication are much worse. So I'm just really trying to stay up on that and help my clients with that and what to ask for. I have had a couple of clients that needed to take a Z-Pak, which is an antibiotic, which actually works on this virus, which is unusual. But I've had 2 people do that. And one was really, she was not able to breathe. Her oxygen sats were really low. And she was okay by like the end of the next day. She was doing great. She never had to go to the hospital. And it was a pretty scary situation. So there's some really good things you can have at home there. High doses of vitamin C work well too. But for this particular virus, quercetin, zinc, and EGCG are really the ones that we're finding are the best. You can, if you have access to hydrogen peroxide or ozone IVs, are wonderful for virus, all virus, including this one, as well as silver, like Sovereign silver or ACS 200 is my favorite kind of silver. You can put silver in your mouth. You can put silver in your nose after you've gone to the store, so you feel like you're cleaning yourself out. You can put silver drops in your eyes, any of the mucous membranes where something like this can come in. Obviously, everyone's heard about hand washing and staying on top of that. But silver is another good thing to have at home, as is iodine. And there are some herbs that are working really well with this as well. One is called the Great Regulator, and that's really supportive of the lungs. The Great Regulator from Dragon Herbs, and it's dragonherbs.com. That's another really great product. Another thing that's been going on with coronavirus, if you have it for a week, it typically stays in your nasal passages and throat. And if you have some of these antivirals, you can knock it out. If you have it longer than 7 days, it can start to go into the lungs. It can start to affect, there's been some blood clotting people have had, some kidney problems. And one of the things that's happening is this virus attacks the hemoglobin, which is our red blood cells, where we get oxygenation for our body. So one of the things that's been really helpful is a homeopathic called Ferrum Phos, and this works on iron. Because what happens with coronavirus, it attacks hemoglobin, which releases iron into the bloodstream, and the iron acts like a free radical. So Ferrum Phos, which is FERREM, which stands for iron in homeopathics, Ferrum Phos, PHOS, actually helps that binding action in the body for the iron to continue to bind to hemoglobin. And you can take ferrum phos with any medication. You can take it with any supplement that we're talking about. So that's something really good to have on hand right now as well, or to tell people about. I see someone is asking about how much silver. Silver, if you don't have a virus, you can just simply, I honestly, when I go to the store, I just spray like 2 sprays up each nostril. I spray like with the ACS 200, I'll spray 10 to 12 sprays in my mouth, a couple sprays in each of my eyes, just as prevention. If you actually have a virus or coronavirus, you can follow the directions depending on what type of silver you have. Follow the directions on the bottle. With ACS 200, I use 21 sprays if I'm sick. I do 21 sprays 3 or 4 times a day under the tongue. If you have sovereign silver, just follow the directions. A lot of times there'll be teaspoons or tablespoons.
And I also would say, Beth, because it gets otherwise too people are asking. First of all, the replay is going to be available after the show. So if you're going to go back, someone asking how much things, I want you to know, Beth just gave us so much right now. Some people, I feel them, it's like, oh my God, I can't keep up. Don't worry, you can watch the replay. You can write it down. If you are Beth, if you would be happy to, we can even have that. But just to remember that you can watch this interview. It's going to be up as long as internet exists.
Well, if people want to send questions to me directly, I'm happy to help. Just send me.
What I was about to say, for you, if you have a personal question, more like how much for you, how much for someone else, you gotta just connect with Beth with herself through the website, and I recommend to just take a session, you test it, because right now here in the setting we cannot answer very individual questions. And the best thing is to really connect with Beth and let her test it, right?
I do want to add one thing, Sonia. For if you know anyone that is really ill with this, there are a couple of things that we're finding, and that I'm reading a lot of medical doctors right now. It's not well known enough yet, so I want to get it out there. Yes, if you know someone that's really struggling with this badly in a respiratory way, hyperbaric oxygen chambers, or if they're not available at the hospital, oxygen, pure oxygen. Ventilators are only good for people that are at a really late stage of severity here. What the person needs is oxygen, because what they're finding is this virus is attacking red blood cells and diminishing oxygen levels in the body, as if you are hiking at the top of Mount Everest. So what you need is oxygen. You almost have altitude sickness. Okay, so what people really need is oxygen. So if you know somebody, have them ask for oxygen or hyperbaric oxygen chamber if that's available at their hospital. The other thing is, what they're finding is not just plasma is helping people, but blood transfusion. Again, red blood cells are being attacked. So you have to have whole blood, a blood transfusion, not just plasma. The whole red blood cell. So blood transfusions are extremely helpful. That's something else you can have your friends or family ask for if they're really not doing well. They're helping dramatically. So oxygen and blood transfusions. They're making a big difference in the mortality rate on this. Yeah. So I just wanted to share that piece.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, fantastic. Anything is helping. And this was very and a lot of people obviously are watching who are not having the virus itself or have someone. But before we close this with the code, do you have one last kind of you mentioned it before, but just to kind of close this up, there's a lot of people who are afraid of it, even though it's not happening. It's the same with the fear of it, and oh my God, I'm gonna die, and and the code that you're gonna give us in just a minute will help. And at the same time, is there and everybody sees in a different perspective, right? But it's the fear about getting the virus is worse than getting the virus itself. In my I see it. If you can briefly just give your final thoughts on that before we share the code.
We all have fear on the bus right now, but we don't need to let fear drive the bus. We're all scared, but let courage drive the bus. Let fear take a back seat. Because if you have 51% courage and 49% fear, you can do great things.
Yeah, I love that, Beth, so much. I can't tell you how much I often say who drives the bus, and I just love that. Thank you so much. Okay, so guys, Beth is going to share a code, and if you are wondering right now, what is the code? How do I do it? And just let that all go. Keep it super simple. Just grab a pen and a paper for now. That's all you need, and she's gonna go through with that, and then you can go on her page. Keep it simple. There's nothing you can do wrong about this. Take a nice deep breath, get a pen, get a paper, and you go. Beth, give it away.
Okay. So this is for stress, trauma, fear, anxiety, really depression, really bringing you back into your body. This does also help if you have old past trauma coming up. Like for me, I was literally on an oxygen tank 18 years ago. So when this COVID thing came up, it made me scared for a little bit. So I use this code to help with that old fear from the past, which is, really helpful as well. Okay. So this is the clearing code to help with these such things. Okay. So EB, that stands for eyebrow. All you need to write is EB. IF for index finger. LF for little finger. SH for side of hand. EB for eyebrow. E for under the eye. MF for middle finger, SH for side of hand, IF for index finger, OE for outside of the eye, A for armpit, and C for collarbone. You can read that through as many times as you like until you feel some stress leave your body, which you will literally feel. Also on my website is the COVID code for the virus. I want to say one other thing on that, which is you can also use that COVID virus code for prevention. I work with someone who's a flight attendant, and she was exposed to a lot of COVID. She read the COVID virus code daily, like 3 times a day. She never got it. And we fully believe that protected her a lot. So you can also use that code daily, like if you come home from the store, to boost your immunity with that code. And you'll see that on my website under the About section as well. So I just wanted to share that as another tip.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Beth. And here, Joanna said, will this code help if you're afraid and alone but not afraid of coronavirus? Yes, it will. Beth, you're awesome. Alyssa is saying, Alyssa, you are awesome too. And I posted the code that she just said on top of it here in the comment section as well. So everything is here covered, and the link to her page is here as well. And stay connected, like what you also said, Beth, and what I say, stay connected with those who make you feel good and not those who thrive the fear. So right. Shows like this, a Soul Infused Monday show, or, like something where you can unplug from the global anxiety. So yeah. Thank you so much for being here, Beth, today. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm always so excited when I can connect with you. And if you have any additional questions or you are watching the replay, just leave a comment below. We go back, and even if we, not respond right away, we will get back to your things. So let me recap real quick. So there's the part of the virus itself, and you gave a lot of great information. There's the part of the fear that you gave some tips, like being grounded, looking up, staying connected, coming in the present now. And then also you got the healing code from Beth. So all of that today. And then remember to come back next Monday. Next Monday, I'm going to share my personal 5-step framework on how handling fear, any type of fear basically, but right now maybe more important than ever. So join us next Monday again at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, have a fantastic week. And Beth, if you have any last words to say goodbye, aloha, mahalo.
Yeah, reach out if you have questions. I'm happy to help people. This is very strong on my heart. So, and Sonia, I love seeing you, and come to Maui soon when all this crazy quarantine is over.
I will come soon again for sure. Okay, thank you so much. Love you guys, and see you next Monday. Much love. Bye.